Hello guys, welcome to the rental management system webinar. Today is the part 2, continuing from Friday. My name is Carlos and I'm a Scriptcase instructor. Okay, so let me continue on what is the rental management system. Perhaps some of you guys didn't come in on Friday. So the rental management system, as the name already says, it's a system to manage rental properties. So basically what we have here is a system that allows us to place new properties for rental, show their status, if they are already reserved, rented, or available, place some pictures of those properties, and make reservations, and also has a public view of the properties itself so the clients can reserve by themselves. Alright, so let's log in here to the system and continuing off, I created on Friday 4 applications, or 6 if I'm not mistaken. No, it was 9. It was 3 grids, 2 forms, and a blank application. Today I was going to continue on reservations. So in this case I'm going to create a grid application with a custom SQL for it. So let's open up here, create a new application. Okay, let me get here the SQL. Okay, so what do we have here on this SQL? Basically, we're getting the reservations ID, date, name, telephone. The rental ID, in other words, is the property ID itself. If the reservation is confirmed, if it's already paid. For the rental properties, I'm getting the range of dates, so between from which date is it reserved to when, the amount or price of the reservation, and the property's titles. Doing some joins here so it can show up the correct information relating to the SQL. Okay, so the name of this grid application will be Grid Reservations. Alright, let's create that. This is a very basic application. I forgot here to set the connection. This is a very basic application, just basically going to apply a refined search to it. Let me run here the application so I can show you guys the data that's showing up. Okay, so you have here the ID, the date, the email of, in this case, the customer that's reserving it, the name, the telephone, and the rental ID, or in other words, property ID. Let me just set up here a couple of things. Let's go here to Edit Fields, change here to Positioning. Basically, let me remove here the rental ID, place here the title. Also remove here the ID itself, or basically let me leave here the ID. Okay. Let's run this. Okay. Now let's go here to the refined search. I'm going to select a couple of fields. The property's title, the reservation's date, and the rental property's date from. So I'm going to edit here, and I'm going to apply the reservation date to have a see more, and also the rental property's date from. So here I can have the title, access to the title, so I can see the loft type, the apartment of heaven. I can see the dates and date from. Okay, I can apply a couple of other things here in the events. Actually, let me open up here. Not the events, the telephone. Place a grid mask here. Okay, so this application, as I said, it doesn't have much to do. It's a very simple application. Alright, so let's continue on and create the form application. Let's see here, the form application is based also in the reservations table. Okay, now let's create a block. Let's go here to layout, blocks, and let's create here a new block. This block is going to be called BL2, and the name is going to be details. It's going to have 2 columns, and the label is going to be above. Right, let me save that. In the fields, I'm going to set up a couple of fields, and I'm going to create a new field. Starting from the email, I'm going to go to the email and set the data type to email. Okay. Apply the validation image. Okay, save that. The paid field, I'm going to apply it as a radio. And change the lookup method as in label yes and value 1. Label no and value 0. Alright. Then I'm going to create a new field. It's going to be a text field. Rental detail. Okay, then in the positioning, I'm going to set the rental ID here to the block of details, and I'm going to remove the test field. Then the positioning here basically is the same: date, email, name, telephone, confirmed, paid, and the amount. Alright. Next thing I need to do, I have some coding to do on this application. So in the event on load, I'm going to do this routine right here. Okay, firstly, I'm getting a local variable and I'm applying the value of the rental ID field. Next, I'm doing a SQL, which basically is a select statement involving 4 tables. Actually not 4, 3, sorry. We have the properties, rental properties, and the locations tables. Doing some joins to return the value appropriated by the relations, and also validating a where clause where the ID equals the rental ID value from the field. After that, I'm running the select statement in the macro sc lookup and verifying if the dataset returned from the lookup is in fact different than empty. If it's different than empty, I'm going to inform to the rental detail, which is the field that I created, the value from the first column the 10th column, and the 11th column. So going at this, as in title is the 0, okay, so it'll be the title, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the location's name will be the 10th column, and that concat with the date range at the end will be the 11th column. Although, let me just change something here. This, and a spacement here. So here, okay. All right. Next, in the onValidate event, I'm going to place this routine. So it's verifying if the field confirmed has the value 1. If it has that value, then it's going to update the rental properties table, setting the state to rented, where the ID equals the property ID. Actually, not the property ID. This is the rental ID. Okay. Let's run this application. Just take a look at how it looks like. Better yet, let me go here to this field. Set it as a label field. You run it again. Okay, so we have a loft type, another north coast. From day 14th of November of 2006, actually 2016, sorry, to 20 of 11th to 2016. Bill Walker is asking, how can we check if the SQL update was successful? Well, the SQL doesn't return any information if it in fact was successful, although there was any errors while doing the update itself, like syntax errors. You'll probably be seeing those errors on screen as some exceptions, notifying the user that something's wrong. For instance, if I change here to stat, this will be showing for the user. Although the treatment for the exceptions, you can treat that manually just by placing a try catch here. Hmm. You can treat them directly here. And if you go here to application settings, you can disable the show error title for the application, SQL errors, and Ajax error outputs. Just basically disable those here, and in the exception itself, you can treat them. Okay? Okay, now let's go to the next part. I already created these two applications. Now comes the more complicated applications of the project. Hold up, let me just take a look here and see if this grid application set everything correctly. I think I didn't. Yeah, I forgot to set the positioning here. So the reservation is going to have the reservation date, the name, email, telephone, the confirmed, the amount, paid, rental ID, title, I knew something was a little bit off about this application. Okay, now it's more complete. Okay, so in fact now this application is finished. Moving on to the public access of the user, which is in public customer. This application now that I'm going to create is a little bit complicated, so please pay attention. It's going to use a custom SQL. Basically, it's the same SQL that I used on the other application in the onload. Okay. Name of this application is going to be Grid Client Offers. Okay, let me set the field positioning here. It's going to be the properties title. The date range comes next. The rental amount. And the rental state here. Everything else down. Alright, save it. This application isn't going to have a detail module, neither a summary. So let me disable those. Detail and summary are off. And also, I'm going to set in the date range, the label of this field is going to be dates. And I'm going to create a new field. This one's going to be called image reserve. Okay, now looking at the application as it is now, it doesn't really have a lot of things to show. Let me fix that SQL here. This part right here. To this one. Hold up. Okay. I'm going to set an image here for the reserve field later on. Going for the step by step, let's work now on a group by for this application. So let's go into group by. First, in the group by settings, I'm going to remove the value separator, the tab a group by, and separates the group by. Now I'm going to create a new static group by with the name apartments. Basically, I'm just going to select the property's title. Okay, creating that, there's an event here that I want to use that's called properties title group by. And basically, I'm going to use this code right here. Let me show you exactly what it does. Okay, so it has here a preview of the image. Vaughn is asking where I get that specific code. I'm working here with a code repository that I did before for this same project. So I'm just following the step-by-step here, alright? I'll be giving you guys this project so you guys can take a look at the code yourselves, alright? Okay, continuing on. So it lists here a preview of the image. These other ones here don't have exactly a image because they were previously inserted to the database without actually having the image itself in the server. So they're actually just referencing a non-existing image. Basically, just to fix it, I just need to update the record directly in the form, adding different types of images. Okay, I'm not yet done with this application. Let me go here to Applications, Settings. I'm going to import two images here. Plain. This one and this one. Alright. So after importing these, I'm going to use these images in the reserve field later on. Okay. I'm working on now just to change the layout of the application itself so we can show only the information that's required from it. Okay, so going back here to the toolbar, in the left top toolbar, I only want the search, and on the right, the exit. The search, I'm going to place the label search for an apartment. All right. And on the bottom toolbar, just want the rows limits. Remove here the navigation page. And basically just this. If I run it now, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a very simple application in a viewpoint, but a little bit programmatic because I'm going to work on the search module now. So basically, going back here to the application, let's go here to the search module. And in the advanced search, I'm going to select a couple of fields. Basically, it's going to be the date range, the rental properties amount, and the location name. Alright. After that, I'm going to set up those fields here. In the date range, I'm going to change its type to select. Okay, and I'm going to apply this select statement that I have here. Just a moment. It's going to have an automatic lookup, and it's going to have this select statement here. It's basically the same concat that we're using on the grid application. Okay. It's going to display the title, and it's going to ask it to select a range of date. Alright, so let me save that. And the location's name, it's going to be also a select type field. And basically, it's an automatic, and it's going to use the locations table directly. It's going to have a title also. Select a location. Select a location. All right, let me save that. Now in the layout itself, go here to header. It's only going to show the title. So the title is going to be search for apartments. Save. This being the header for the search module. Then in the settings, we have the search criteria, where I'm going to turn off, actually, rental properties amount. I'm going to leave this. The location's name, on the other hand, is only going to have the equal to, and it's not going to show the condition. The date range also is going to be equal to, and it's not going to show the condition. Okay. Doing this, I also need to place a couple of coding. Actually, I'm going to place coding now in the events of the grid application. In the events on script init, I'm going to place this code right here, which basically I'm going to reset a global variable that I'm going to be using called par property ID, and a form reserved client is going to be programmed to start as a new record. And in the on record, I'm going to use this code right here, on which I'm verifying the rental property state and see if it's available. If it is, it's going to place that green plane icon that I just selected, and if it's not, it's going to place the red. Let me show you exactly how it works. Okay, so we have here, is the rental state appearing? I think it was supposed to be appearing. Yeah, I forgot to place a rental state. Yeah, right here. Okay, so it's available, reserved, rented. Okay, so if I click here on reserve, it's not yet generated because I didn't create the form application yet, which I'm going to create now, which is the form reserve clients. So let me create that application now. Form. It's going to be based on the reservations. Its name is going to be form reserved clients. Let's create it. Okay, now in the edit fields, I'm going to do some things here. I just want the ID, date, email, name, and telephone, and amount. Everything else, I don't need it to be viewed. Okay. Now, the email is going to be required. The name is going to be required, and the telephone is going to be required. Although the amount is going to be read-only. Go here to set up the date field. The initial value will be the system date, and it's going to be a hidden field. The email field, just change the data type to email. Apply the validation image. And going back here to edit fields, since the rental ID is in fact not showing, I can't edit it directly here from the fields folder, so I have to edit it from here. In this case, it's going to have a defined value for the inserts of the database. So practically I'm going to go here, define value. I'm going to place a global variable here, and I'm going to force this value. Actually, not for this field. This one right here. Let me just run the application, see how it looks like. Okay, if I go here to security, I'm going to enable the use of the CAPTCHA for this application. And going again to edit the applications, the toolbar here is going to only have the insert, cancel, and update and accent buttons. There's nothing at the bottom. And here in the application messages, there's a type of message here that shows after you're inserting a new record. So basically the message I'm going to place is thank you for your reserve. So if I generate the source code here for this application, then if I run the grid application and click on reserve, it's going to redirect me to this application. Okay. Let me place that global variable as out because it's going to be informed directly when I link the application. Okay. In the red button I can't select, so it's disabled for selection. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do now is that since I already created these applications, I'm now going to create the menu application in the root. So So let's go here, create the menu, application, and I'm going to create 5 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one, properties, which will have linked the grid properties. The second one will be locations, which will have linked the grid locations. The third one will be rent, grid rental properties, reserves, which will be the grid reservations, the fifth one will be the public, which will be the grid client offers. Okay, saving this, I'm going to change the theme that I use here. Let me see another one. I'm going to use this Mac black, the black. Alright. Then here in the settings, I'm going to center it. Alright, so alignment of the menu is going to be centered. And I'm going to place that blank application I created on Friday as the main application. So if I run the application now, oops, let me generate the source code here. So from here I can view the properties, see the file, check the images from this, generate the PDF itself, getting the information directly from the property. Okay. I can take a look at the locations that I already have in my system. I can take a look at the rents that I have. So basically all the available properties, all the reserved ones, a range of the amounts which I can place, reserves that I have, and reservations here directly. Okay guys, so this is the rental management system. Alright guys, I think that's it for today's webinar. Alright, again, I'd like to thank you for your audience. And I'll be seeing you guys on future webinars, alright? And perhaps in some courses from Scriptcase. Bye guys, until next time.